That raggedy Dr. Smith get on my last nerve. Hey everyone, it's Sharona from Pay or Wait, and today I'm going to be reviewing Lost in Space, which is now streaming on the Netflix platform. This is season 2 of Lost in Space. I had the pleasure of binging the first season these past couple of days, and I had such a great time watching that I went ahead and binged season 2. So for those of you who are new to my channel, I tell you what I like about the series, what I didn't like about the series, and is it worth your binge, especially during this holiday season when there are some prime content that is coming to these streaming platforms. So is it worth your time or not? That is what we're going to find out. This is going to be a spoiler-free review, so if you have not watched season 2, it's okay, relax. I'm not going to spoil anything for you. So season 2 picks up where we left off several months after where we left off in season 1. And so we found that the Robinsons were stranded on an unknown planet that they knew nothing about. They've lost contact with the Resolute. And so essentially this season really centers around them trying to find a way back. And then also to follow the formula from season 1 is really their encounters with dangers, both familiar and unfamiliar, as they are introduced to these new planets, introduced to new situations that they must work together as a family to break free of. So, going into what I like about this season, one of the biggest questions that I had at the end of season 1 was really around Judy Robinson's character, who is played by Taylor Russell. And I wanted to learn more about where she came from, how she became a part of the Robinson family. They hinted in season 1, that John is not her biological. Is his name John? Did I make that up? I think his name is John. I might have forgot, y'all. That he's not her biological father, but you can tell that she's been a part of this family for quite some time. And so episode 5, we get to learn more about where Judy comes from. In that episode, you guys, look, I like to say that I have a little ice heart, that it takes a lot for me to cry. But when I tell you, I was like the whole time I was fending my eyes like this, like don't cry. And the tears just came. We get to learn more about Judy, and more importantly, the relationship between Judy and her father, John. I'm hoping that that's his name and I'm not just saying the wrong name this whole time. But her father, John, in that episode just literally broke me. It was such a well done, well crafted episode. And it really points out what works best for Lost in Space is really the connection that the Robinsons have as a family. It was great acting. Taylor Russell continues to prove how great of an actress she is. If you guys haven't watched her performance in Waves this year, she did a really fantastic job, and she really brings her A game into season 2 of Lost in Space as we get to see her do even more than what we saw her do in the first season. And so she was probably one of my favorite characters of season 2. But there will be no Lost in Space without the portrayal of Will Robinson, played by Maxwell Jenkins. You can truly tell that his character Will is truly coming to his own. He's grown up before our eyes, but also too, he's more grounded in his bravery and also to his confidence that he has. You can totally see a progression from where he was first introduced to us at the beginning of Lost in Space season 1 to where he is now in season 2. And he does such a fantastic job. Just with his heart and his interactions, and we get to learn more about his interaction between him and his robot, and it's just so fun to see. Like, I literally have feelings for a robot that's not even real on a TV show, but that robot, honey, all my feels. I feel like I'm just like a whole new emotional person after watching Lost in Space. But what I also have to say is that the world building that we go through in season 2, it definitely ups the ante. We get to see more places. We get to see more creatures. We get some beautiful visual effects as we get introduced to these new planets, to these new scenarios that the Robinsons have to get themselves out of. You can really tell that they put the money into the effects of the show. And really, for all of you who are interested in getting to see more space, I think a lot of people will be happy with the direction of season 2 because we were introduced to new places and new creatures. But can we talk about Raggedy Dr. Smith? So this is going to lead me from my pros kind of into my cons. I think Parker Posey, who plays Dr. Smith, does a very fantastic job because literally, I don't know if you guys follow me on Twitter, I literally tweeted that there has never been a villain that I've wanted to die more than Dr. Smith. Everyone said, what about Joffrey? I was like, Joffrey dead, he taken care of. But this Dr. Smith here, she is raggedy, she is trash, but she is having fun while doing it. And I think that they do a very great job of her manipulation with other people, but also too manipulating the audience as we're watching on screen, as we see some of these situations play out. Just when you feel like you might have had her summed up as a character, or the limit to where she's willing to go to be as trash as she can possibly be, they take it to new levels. I was just like, ma'am, first of all, I'm trying to figure out why she's still alive. How did Dr. Smith make it to a season 2 in the first place? Because if it were up to me, boo boo, you would have been gone after season 8 of season 1, okay? You would have been gone. Bye-bye. We don't have to worry about her anymore. But I think that she does a really great job of portraying this character. But also, too, it kind of leads me into my cons, is that we don't really know, like, why she behaves the way that she does. They kind of try to hint to some things in her past, but I don't know if I just want a deeper exploration of who she is as a person. I mean, even though she's still trash, but I want to see them do a little bit more with her character. It's just like she just does these things for no reason. I'm just like, why? Like, it can't all just be for survival, is how trash you are at this point in time. But also, too, going into other characters that I would like to see develop would have to be the character Don West, played by Ignacio Cerricho. I hope I said his last name right. If I didn't, please forgive me. You're probably not even watching this. I love his character, and we do get to see a lot more of him, especially since Don was the one who was trapped with the Robinsons at the end of season 1. However, I want to see more depth. I want to see his character be fleshed out a little bit more outside of just being the typical comical relief for the show. It works, but you become so invested in Don's character from where we saw him at the beginning of season 1, that I want a little bit more for his character. And I hope that that's something that they do explore in season 3. But overall, for me, I had a really great time watching Lost in Space 2. I really love this whole relationship of family, of obstacles, of working together as a family, sometimes feeling like the black sheep of the family. I love how they explore these different family dynamics between the Robinsons, and I think that's what the heart of the show, that's where that truly is the relationships, relationships between Will and what his possible connection can be to the robot. And also, too, this exploration of how, as humans, we are flawed because we kind of take negative to things that we don't understand. And that's another thing that they do dive a little bit deeper into in the course of season 2. But for me, I had a really great time. There's bigger world building because we're in space. There's a lot to explore in space, but also too, they bring more characters into the mix. I hope that we get to see more and more characters as we go through the course of the seasons. And I think once we get to the end of season 2, where they've set this up to go into a season 3, I think a lot of people will be very intrigued, very interested to see how things play out. So what I would tell you guys to do with you and your binging time during this holiday season, this is definitely worth the binge. Watch it. It's a fun show for the family. If you guys are into sci-fi, if you're into space, you get to see some cool worlds, see some cool creatures, see some cool things happening. Lost in Space is definitely worth the binge, you guys. But those are my quick thoughts on Lost in Space season 2. As always, my name is Sharonda from Pay Your Weights, and if you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends, and make sure you hit that notification bell. And I love you guys 3000. I'll see you soon.